in shade that they have to deal with. It's a pain to mow, pain to keep up. This is a great solution. This is dwarf mondo grass, and it's growing on this hillside under 2 magnolias. They cast dense shade. It's dry. We're in a little droughty situation right now, and this stuff looks great. You don't have to mow it. You don't have to do anything to it. When you put it in, you'll buy it in little plugs or little pots, put it in maybe 6-8 inches apart, and it will grow to fill. And this entire slope is covered with this stuff. It's evergreen. It's a relative of monkey grass, but it doesn't get anything like as hot. And I think it's a wonderful, easy to maintain, trouble-free ground cover for a setting like this. It cannot be beat. It's really dressy, great dark green, wonderful looking, easy to grow, long-lived ground cover for a difficult, dry, sloping situation.
Everybody is familiar with the southern magnolia, what I would consider to be the quintessential tree of the South, with its beautiful, giant evergreen foliage and its enormous white, sweet-smelling blossoms. It is a staple for gardeners throughout Tennessee and the greater South. Some of the wonderful attributes of the southern magnolia are obviously its beautiful evergreen foliage, which just stays green and thick and lush year-round. And at this time of year, during mid-May, when the flowers open up, they're just enormous. And the Latin name, Magnolia grandiflora, refers to big flower. The tree is just tough, tough, tough. It doesn't need a lot of care. It will prefer it if you don't prune the branches. When you think about the big old magnolia trees you've seen around, they all have very wide spreading branches. And the spreading branches help to shade and cool the root systems, and they really do prefer a shaded, cool root system. So if you prune them up, you're actually not doing the tree a favor, and you're taking away from the characteristic look. The southern magnolia will get pretty tall. It can get up in the 60 to 80 foot range, and with a 25 to 30 foot wide spread. It's a big tree that will take up a big spot in your garden, but it will be there and beautiful for many years to come. Now let's go take a look at some lesser known magnolias. Well, this little beauty is a sweet bay magnolia, Magnolia virginiana, and is one of my absolute favorite native magnolia trees. What I love about it is it grows a lot smaller. It grows very tall. It can get 50 to 80 feet tall, but it doesn't grow out as wide. So it's a perfect tree for a small backyard or a courtyard or a small garden. It stays in its spot and grows upright. And there are varieties that are evergreen, and there are the most common are deciduous. But every year in the spring, they get what I would call a miniature magnolia flower, a much smaller version of the larger grandiflora flower. But the flowers on the sweet bay smell like roses. They are just absolutely heavenly. And they're very tough plants. They don't need a lot of attention at all, maybe just a little bit of extra water in the summer. And they grow fairly rapidly. I love to plant the sweet bay magnolia in courtyards or tight confined spaces where a big one just won't fit. And I've got another magnolia to show you. I'd like to introduce you now to the big leaf magnolia. This is an incredible plant. It looks tropical, like something from Costa Rica, but it is a Tennessee native. The big leaf magnolia, Latin name Magnolia macrophylla, named for its enormous leaves that get 3 feet long, a foot wide, and the tree gets to be very large as well, and large and spreading. And when it's mature, the flowers can get to be the size of dinner plates, 12 to 16 inches wide, and big white magnolia flowers, very, very aromatic. It's a great tree if you've got a big spot in your garden that you want to fill. If you're looking for a tree for your backyard or garden, consider one of the magnolias. They're beautiful trees. They do really well in our climate, in our soil conditions, and they'll give you years and years of enjoyment.